All right, so a big and a huge development going down in Lincoln, as we speak or going to be speaking throughout this week. Thursday and Friday, it's projected that, I guess, early on Friday morning coming up, that Marcus Satterfield is heading on a plane and he's going to meet up with Ohio State transfer quarterback Kyle Mccord. Kyle Mccord played high school ball at St. Joe's Prep in Philadelphia. Kyle Mccord is from South Jersey, which is right near Philadelphia. He is a tough quarterback, okay? This is a guy that's taken, a lot of physical hits this year, and he stepped up and delivered in crucial moments. At Notre Dame, when Ohio State needed a touchdown drive, he was able to get them into the end zone, okay, at the buzzer to beat Notre Dame. Clutch drive. Against Michigan, he threw for 280 yards. He showed some real signs of life against Michigan. He's thrown 24 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, 2,800 yards of throwing this year. I know that he's had Marvin Harrison and Ibuka. He's had great skill position guys, but it's not easy to replace two tremendous Ohio State quarterbacks in Justin Fields and CJ Stroud. So Kyle Mccord has also seen what it's like. He's seen what it's like to be an elite football team, meaning that he's been in the rooms, he's been in the Michigan game. He was at the Georgia-Ohio State game as the backup quarterback when CJ Stroud and Georgia played what was, in fact, considered probably the national title, where Ohio State had a kick to beat Georgia and CJ Stroud went off in that game. All right. He's been around, Dennis, the quarterback coach, Brian Hartline, who's a really good offensive coordinator, and of course has been groomed by one of the best offensive minds in the entire sport in Ryan Day. So the guy's won, and he's played at a high level. He's 6'3", he's stocky, he can take hits, and his arm strength, he has upper tier arm strength. He can fit it in the tight windows, specifically cover 2. He can hit out routes. He could be consistent throwing the football. Now, he's not a dual threat or very dynamic runner and improviser, but that should not be a problem at the University of Nebraska. It shouldn't be a problem. So this is a really important recruit for Nebraska, guys. This is huge. I mean, because on the roster, you don't have any stability at that position at all. You have Jeff Sims, who's a turnover machine, who can't even field a snap. You have Chubba Purdy. While he's running with the ball, he'll just lose the football. He makes crucial turnovers in crucial stages, and he doesn't have the arm strength or the arm talent of Kyle Mccord. And then you have Heinrich Haarberg, who's the total opposite of a rock-steady quarterback, okay? I think I said Kyle Mccord. You have Heinrich Haarberg. Again, I liked Haarberg coming out of Kearney High School. But again, his mechanics are not where it needs to be. Too much sidearm, okay? Against Michigan State, he missed open receivers, all right? Now, in fairness to Haarberg, in fairness to all the quarterbacks on Nebraska, the wide receiver position needs to get better. I mean, you have Billy Kemp, who on most teams would be a third, wide receiver, who's fine. He was like a 5'10" wide receiver. Marvin Washington got injured. Castaneda got injured. But you have, Malachi Coleman, who's kind of a tweener between a tight end and a wide receiver. He has skill and talent. He needs to be developed by Garrett McGuire, okay? Jaden Doss and Jalen Lloyd, these guys are young, have some speed. But Nebraska, okay, let's admit it, Fedoni isn't fully back from his injury really at all. I don't know if he'll ever get to the point where he was mossing guys in high school at Council Bluffs. I don't know if he'll ever get to that point again. Nebraska needs to portal also for wide receivers, for multiple wide receivers, all right, if their offense really wants to get rolling. But Kyle Mccord and then having Daniel Kaelin, who's also a pro-style passer, learn from Kyle McCord is exactly the way that Nebraska should proceed. Casey Thompson was a success coming from Texas, okay, coming from a quarterback who started games at the University of Texas. These guys are similar players. They're both kind of pro-style passers. They both have good touch on the deep ball, and they're both professional. They both bring professional elements to your operation. When you have Kyle McCord can go into tough places and win big games. If Kyle McCord was your starter this year, you would have won probably all 3 of the remaining games. You probably would have won 8 or 9 games this season if Kyle McCord was your quarterback. All right, and I like it. Nebraska needs a no-risk, consistent quarterback. It doesn't mean that Kyle McCord has the skill of a DJU or Cam Ward or even the upside of Dante Moore. He doesn't, because of his limitations in terms of improvising, in terms of escaping the pocket, in terms of mobility. So he needs a good offensive line. But Nebraska is now going to be built to be a pro-style operation where you're going to lean on your defense and special teams. You're going to utilize clock. You're going to run the football, all right? Going to run the football with authority, and then you're going to go play action, hit the tight ends, hit some wide receivers, throw the football about 25 times a game. And I like that style offense. It's going to be a boosted pro-style attack. It's going to be the type of offense that Connor Cook had, that Mark D'Antonio had at Michigan State. Or when you look at Wisconsin, when they had Monte Ball and they had Melvin Gordon and those elite running backs, that's the type of offense that they had. They had a complimentary like Joel Stave at quarterback. All right, that's the type of offense that Nebraska is going to be running. Nebraska doesn't need to be this offense that goes and scores 42 a game. They're going to play in the elements. They're going to play nasty football, and they're going to try to be a more explosive Iowa blueprint. They're going to try to be a Kansas State under Chris Kleiman, under Bill Snyder. An 8-win team, pesky, and a team that is a pain in the ass to play because they tackle the heck out of you, they don't beat themselves, and they play from the defensive side of the football. So I really like this decision. If Nebraska went out there, and there are some quarterbacks that are out there that are more of your dual threat or more of your risk quarterbacks. There's a lot of young quarterbacks that don't have a ton of experience that you need to project. Kyle McCord, we've seen it. We've seen him play. We've seen him play at a pretty decent level. I know that he had Marvin Harrison. I know that he had the best play callers at Ohio State. He might not be the upper of upper echelon quarterbacks, but again, Nebraska needs to go to a damn bowl game. It's been 7 years since they've made a bowl game, and you need competency at the position, and that's what Kyle McCord's going to offer to you. Ohio State, McCord was slightly better than average at Ohio State. Ohio State's in a different ball game. They're looking for a quarterback that's going to take over and change the game, where Kyle McCord is going to be a complementary piece to the game, and you're going to rely on your defense to go out there and win games at Ohio State. So Ohio State is in a different scenario. They have the best receiving core in the country. They're looking for a quarterback that could be a Heisman Trophy winner that'll go put up 50 burgers, okay? But Kyle McCord is a decent enough quarterback. He has a good arm. He's accurate. He's trustworthy. This is what Nebraska needs, and he can hit your explosive play from time to time. If Nebraska, again, has this defense rolling, and again, they get back Tony White, which is absolutely huge. Ty Robinson looks like he's coming back with the polar bear nut, and I guess it's Hutmacher, okay? This defense, with the type of guys like Butler around the edge and James Williams, this pass rush can beat Prince Will. This pass rush can be nasty, so this defense can be good. You need a complementary quarterback, and for Daniel Kaelin, Kyle McCord is he's like a perfect option. I even think Kyle McCord, I know that Will Howard achieved a lot at Kansas State, I think Kyle McCord is a more talented player than Will Howard. I think that his arm strength, the type of throws he was even making against Michigan in big moments, when they were down 10 to Michigan, he's diming up back shoulder throws 20 yards down the field to the sideline. The guy can make big level throws. He can be your Zach Taylor stable quarterback. Your Joe Gans, if you will. This is who Nebraska needs. This is a tailor-made fit. Okay, Marcus Satterfield was in Temple from 2013 to 2016. Matt Rhule was at Temple a very long time. He has Philadelphia roots. Okay, Kyle McCord's going to play in an environment in the Big Ten West at Nebraska at Memorial Stadium for one of the most rabid fan bases in the country. This is a group that'll go to Champaign, that'll go to East Lansing, and they haven't made a bowl game. They have the longest bowl drought, 7 years. But again, Nebraska fans are tough. Nebraska fans are loyal. They are the best fans. They are right up there, I'd say, in the Mount Rushmore of best fans of college football. So for those reasons, like I illustrated, like how Casey Thompson was a solid quarterback that Frost needed at that time, this is the quarterback that Nebraska needs. You could argue that this is the most important recruitment since Joe Burrow. And I know what Joe Burrow turned out into. I'm not saying McCord's going to be Joe Burrow, but this recruitment is vital. You don't want to have to start Daniel Kalen as a dead freshman. You want to let Kalen develop for 2 years and let McCord come in there and be a stable force for the next 2 years. All right, that's the way that I would proceed. So I like what Nebraska is doing. Let's see how this goes.